This is JanataTelevision and you are watching The View. Namaskar, I am Arun Deo Joshi. Currently, the world politics has been said to be lenient to the rightist movement. Leftist movement worldwide had been in the receiving side recently, but in the different part of the world, leftist parties are coming to the power and they are gaining some majority in the people as well. Today, to discuss left politics, world left politics, Indian politics, and relationship between Nepal and India, we have with us General Secretary of Communist Party of India, Marxist Sitaram Yechury. Yechury, you are welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I said in the beginning that internationally these days rightist forces are gaining power.
Right.
And the leftists are receiving in, though they are somewhere gaining in the even in European countries like Latin America, sometimes South Asia as well. But what is the your view about the current scenario of the world politics and the leftist movement?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, there is a very distinct political rightward shift in world politics. Whether it is the election of Donald Trump in the USA, or whether that of the challenge put up by the Marie Le Pen in France, or the Alternative for Deutschland, which is actually a neo-fascist fascist organization in Germany. And you'll find it all across the globe. The reason why this is happening, according to us, is because it is an expression of the crisis of global capitalism. Now, neoliberalism, as a theory, as a philosophy, ruled the roost the post-Soviet Union collapse and the end of the Cold War. And its objective was profit maximization. In the process of that profit maximization, inequalities grew tremendously, which are one of the highest that the human civilization has seen in recent period. Now, this inequalities means what? At the other end, the purchasing power in the hands of the people is shrinking. Profits are expanding. But profits can continue to expand only when people buy what is produced. But they don't have money. That is the genesis of the crisis. So you tried all sorts of things. You gave them cheap credit to bail them out. When they couldn't pay back those loans, the whole Wall Street collapse occurred. Though from that you are trying to regain by bailing out the banks. So corporate insolvencies were converted into sovereign insolvencies. When the governments bailed out, but the government themselves became insolvent. Now that is the biggest problem. Your debt GDP ratio is now 52% on an average in the world, compared to an average of 34% before your crisis hit you. As a result, what is happening, this neoliberal philosophy that guided global capitalism is actually in a severe crisis. Now, this is having a political fallout. People are getting disenchanted.
That you mean that this
and
rise,
the political right is emerging to stop that discontent moving into left channels. And that is why you just, for an example, I mean, Donald Trump's slogans. He said all these foreigners are coming and taking away your jobs to the American people. So immigration, stop, visa restrictions. And that is giving rise to xenophobia and racism in the USA, and then building the wall with Mexico, and then the trade wars, that is, impose tremendous duties on on the imports that are coming into the USA, thereby giving some protection to domestic industry. So all this is to stem this discontent, not moving towards the left. But like you said correctly, but still, even this is being met in countries of Latin America. But we are now sitting in Kathmandu.
Yeah, that you mean that this rightist forces were gaining just to resist the left aligning people over there. They are just to resist it. They are in their last try, maybe the last try for them.
Last ditch effort.
But it is it means that it is the best moment for the left to gain the people's mandate as well.
Absolutely, and I think we are sitting in Kathmandu. It can't be a better place for you to demonstrate that. The fact that the Communist parties here are united, they won the election, they have a 2/3 majority in the country's parliament. So this is the direction.
It is the first time in the history of the world that the government in the country has been into the power by the election. It was before in Kerala in India, the first
we
elected by the parliamentary way.
Yeah.
We are doing this since Namodari Path. Then it is first time in the history that is
for the country as a whole.
As a whole, Nepal has gained. How do you are looking at this position of?
This very positively. I'm thinking very positively because you see, Nepal. Every country has its own history. Nepal has its own history of nearly 30 years of struggle of the people against the monarchy, against establishing a multi-party democratic republic in Nepal. Eventually, all this has fructified and succeeded. Now you have your constitution, you have elected government, you have a unified left today in terms of this Nepal Communist Party,
political parties are,
and having won the election. I mean, this is the direction in which world politics will move, in my opinion. Already you can see it in Latin America. I mean, big resistance, big struggles are going on. I mean, global capitalism and imperialism, USA, is not going to allow this to happen. They will intervene. Military interventions are on the rise. But yet again, you see countervailing forces coming in. China's emergence as the second biggest economy in the world. China-Russia cooperation, that strengthening. So you have counters also happening. So world is now no longer what they thought or America thought, that under its leadership it will be a unipolar world. It is emerging into multipolarity. Now this will also have an impact on weakening the right-wing shift.
Like there are some in the Greece, like thing in the Europe, some leftist forces are emerging.
Yes, in Europe you look at Greece, look at Spain, you see Podemos.
In Portugal as well.
In Portugal, the Communist Party itself is very strong.
Strong over there.
And they are today stopped the right from coming into the government in Portugal. Likewise, in many other countries in Europe, you are finding these trends, whereby the left and particularly the communists are playing an important role in mobilizing an anti-right coalition.
So what about in India? In India, rising of the saffron politics, rise of Narendra Modi, he's seeking next term in 2019, and you are not able to form the third alliance, and the Communist Party is in the lowest form, like we have just 12 seats in the parliament. So what is the real situation of left movement in India?
You see, now the rise of the political right in India also is part of this overall global trend, because India economically is integrated to the global capitalist system. And this rise of the political right is reflected in the rise in India. But that is not only confined to the political right of xenophobia or racism or things like that, but in India it is also connected with India's own history of converting a secular democratic republic of India under the present constitution of India into a conception of what they call the Hindu Rashtra. That's why they are very upset that the Hindu kingdom of Nepal has now become the Republic of Nepal. So the Hindu Rashtra is that is their ideological conception. Now, if they want to create that, this constitutional order has to, it cannot sustain the existing constitution. So it's a very big battle that is going on in India today. You're right, in India you see that the coming together of the other secular forces or non-right forces. That will not happen in India like in any other country because of the vastness of India and because of India's diversities. Different parties have different levels of influence over the people in different parts. Like in South, it's entirely different. Each state in the South has a different regional party. Likewise, in many other places in the north also, Bihar and UP, the two biggest states.
But recently they are trying to form an alliance.
So what will happen?
Like they just tried in UP that
correct.
UP they have.
So what is happening is state level alliances will emerge. They are emerging. They are emerging, and that will be the biggest challenge for the present government, the right-wing government in India. And it's only after the elections that it will all coalesce into a central coalition.
But if it's not before election, that it will be hard to get the people's mandate. Like they will be not trusting the force. They are not united before the election.
But at the state level, they will be united. What will be the final combination of that unity at the center? That all depends on the results. In
but
India,
that means you are foreseeing that it will not be the joint alliance that would be fighting against the BJP.
There will be a joint alliance, but different types of alliances in different states. You see, for example, in UP, it will be the Samajwadi Party and the Bahujan Samaj Party. They are the main players.
Maybe with Congress.
Congress and the left, and I mean, all others will be smaller players. In Bihar, it will be the Rashtriya Janata Dal of Lalu Prasad Yadav, and that will be the main force. In what you call Orissa, it will be the Biju Janata Dal. In Andhra, it will be the Telugu Desam. In Telangana, it will be they have the different ruling parties.
Yeah.
So, and Tamil Nadu, it will be the DMK or the AIDMK. So, you will have different types of what you call coming together and fronts.
But is it not the possibility that the even the Congress and Left Alliance come together from a pre-election alliance? Like I know there's a controversy within your party as well. Like some you have been during the April convention over there. There's some compromise that you will not be aligning with the Congress. So alliance would not be formed. But seeing the situation like this Modi saffron factory is rising up in India, so to stop them, would it be a possibility?
You see, we have now in our Central Committee worked out our slogans for the coming elections. We're given 3 slogans basically. 1, defeat the BJP and its allies. 2, strengthen the left in the Indian Parliament. 3, work for an alternative secular government, to ensure an alternative secular government at the center. These are the 3.
Last point will be
the alternative secular government. But remember, in India, 2004 also, elections were fought at the state level. Different parties, different combinations.
But that it didn't work. It was the worst performance of the leftist parties, just 12 seats. So
no, that is subsequently after the 2004 elections. But at that time also, the UPA was formed after the election. In 96, the United Front was formed after the election, which formed the government. So that will what will happen this time also. So an alternative government, a very good chance likely to emerge. What exactly will be its shape, that we'll see. But the left that you're talking about, yes, the weakness would be the left is not as strong as it was in 2004. Now there are a variety of factors why I mean, electorally we have declined. The left must always be measured not only through electoral yardstick, but also through the people's struggles that it launches, which influences the country's agenda, which is what is happening today. So we think that the left will definitely improve its position.
From 12 to how much?
And it will may not go up to 44 or 61, or the left as a whole in 2004.
Yes. Sir.
So it may not go up to that level.
52, you're on an alliance, and then was there.
Yeah. So, but it will definitely improve. But remember, the left is the principal target of the right-wing government in India today. That is because it is the left, the right knows, political right. They are the most consistent champion for India's unity, integrity on the basis of a secular democratic foundations is the left. And the left is the one that champions all the discontent against these economic policies and growing inequalities and the impoverishment of the people. So that is why we are singled out and targeted. In Tripura in the recent elections, that's exactly what happened. A total gang up of everybody to get rid of the left under the leadership of the current ruling party in the center.
Yeah.
And it's been like earlier it happened in Bengal. Now they are trying their best to try and destabilize the left government in Kerala. So we are facing all this.
But Singh, you told that you remember 61 during 1996. It was the best performance of the left parties that time, and Jyoti Basu was offered after BP Singh government and Chandrasekhar government. Congress backed up from that. Jyoti Basu was offered, and we were all saying that Jyoti Basu would be the first left prime minister in South Asia. Right. Actually, not South Asia, but maybe in India. Manmohan Singh had been over here before. So it was a very good chance of left government being into the power and showing some glimpses of what left government would have been. So do you regret that thing now?
No, you see, our party, there was a big debate, you know that. I mean, big debate took place. Finally, the party Congress said, after a vote, big division. But the party Congress finally said, no, it was correct not to accept that offer. Why? The logic, the argument is, we were not in a position to influence the policy direction.
Yes.
We would have had to do many things that we will oppose outside because of the coalition compulsion. Number two, we will not be able to do things that we have promised people. If we are elected, we will do. On both counts, we lose the people's confidence. Because neither are you doing what you promised, and you are doing what you are against. So therefore, there is best in this sort of a situation not to do it until we are in a position where we can influence the policy direction. But subsequently, we are now, that same party Congress amended our understanding to say that if such a situation emerges in the future, on the basis of the concrete situation, then the Central Committee will take an appropriate decision.
But that never happened after that.
That never happened after that.
It was like a lost chance.
Yes, that didn't happen after that. So, but anyway, on paper, this is our decision. If at all that sort of position.
But that means you regret later on. It would have been something, some influence you could have put on.
Well, that difference of opinion still continues. This is the part.
Okay, like there is a recently published book of DGP Arun Prasad Mukherjee, Bengal DCP, Unknown Facts about Rajiv Gandhi, Jyoti Basu and Indrajit Gupta. He has said that Jyoti Basu had been offered prime ministership by Rajiv Gandhi in 1991 and 1991 again.
This is news to me also.
Yeah.
This is news to me also.
So
because 1991.
1990, it was also very good performance of the party, like 57 seats were there.
That Bofors, etc., because the thing was going on.
So I just got the information in the recent book that Bengal DGP, Arun Prasad Mukherjee book. The book is called Unknown Facts about Rajiv Gandhi and Jyoti Basu and Indrajit Gupta. So
Rajiv Gandhi had a lot of respect for Jyoti Basu, there is no doubt about it. And Rajiv Gandhi's mother, that is Indira Gandhi, and Jyoti Basu were contemporaries and they studied in England. And they knew each other well. So all that is fine. But politically, it was Rajiv Gandhi who came and conducted that whole campaign against Jyoti Basu and Bengal. And he called Kolkata the dying city.
Yeah, it was that time that Congress was doing better in Kolkata.
Yeah. So that is so
before Mamata Banerjee's breakaway.
Yeah, before Mamata Banerjee's breakaway. So they politically, of course, they are on opposite sides. But I really don't know. This is news to me also that he was offered in 91.
1991. I just it was mentioned in his book. So again, going to the Indian politics that you have been losing. You said just recently, 2018, Tripura was the last victim that you from 1988. I think you have been ruling in the Tripura. It also went away, and you are saying that in Karnataka also. There's a shuffle of the government between UDF and LDF. In Kerala, shuffle of the government between UDF and LDF. Even there is where there was no BJP, the BJP is gaining some moments over there. So what do you seeing that these saffron forces are still emerging, or 2019 election would be their nightmare-like thing?
Well, you see, Kerala, it's not that they are suddenly growing there. Kerala, the RSS was always a very strong force. Always. In fact, the largest RSS unit in India, in any other states, is in Kerala. But the Kerala people never really gave them electoral support. That is the thing. Even now, I think that will continue. That will continue. But 2019 elections that you were saying, they are going to be extremely crucial. It's going to be India is at crossroads now. Which way we'll go will be determined by the outcome of those elections. Yes, that will be a tough election, and that will be an election where, I hope the authorities concerned will take proper measures to ensure that there is no great violence and things like that. Because already what we are seeing, that is Tripura now. Immediately post-elections, they have unleashed huge amount of violence. We've seen that happen in Bengal earlier. So 2019 will be a difficult election and very crucial election.
Yeah, actually, even in the recent polls, they are showing that BJP is falling. The popularity of BJP regularly falling down, as it was before, 2 years before or 3 years before. But the political momentum which falling of the BJP is not gained by the opposition right now, since opposition are not united. So I asked you before, so I even ask you again. is there any possibility being all the oppositions being coming together and fighting the election in entire country? One banner or one unit?
As I told you earlier when we were discussing, it's not possible in Indian conditions at the national level. But what is possible and what will happen?
Like there are some national level parties, like your left party is a national level party, Congress is national level party. Maybe they are not all the state levels could be there, influence at state level, but at least for the national level, some national level parties that Congress and this left, is there possibility they coming together?
It will emerge post elections. It will definitely. Like UPA was formed. Post-election, there will be a new formation and there will be a new government. I'm confident. I mean, we are working for it. It's a tough job, very tough election, where we are trying. But remember, the BJP last time also formed the government with only 31% of the support of people who voted, not of the whole electorate, people who voted. 69% of the people who voted against the BJP. But why they formed the government was this opposition vote was divided.
Yes.
So that is why, including our party, the CPI, we have said in these elections, and increasingly many secular opposition parties are coming to the same conclusion, that in these elections the primary task would be to maximize the pooling of anti-BJP votes. So let BJP not derive the benefit like it did last time, out of the division in the opposition
And
votes.
you see in at least state level that could be done?
That will be done.
We'll be seeing the elections over there.
Thank you.
And other forces are also there, like Hardik Patel is coming there.
Yes.
There's a different moment.
The new forces
are there. And what is the take of left alliance for this new kind of forces there?
No, we are cooperating with them. We want to, and therefore what we have said is that this is going to be in struggles particularly. People say, the Dalits who are called Dalits in India, I mean, they have been under tremendous attack and there were murderous attacks on them. The minorities are under tremendous attack in the name of cow protection. All these private armies have been mushrooming. In fact, the India Supreme Court had to talk about mob lynching and asked for the government to get a new law, but of course the government has not done it. So all this is, this background is there. So against all this, what the CPIM and the left are now saying is not only the unity of the political parties, but also the people's movement.
Feeling more insecure over there in the country.
Absolutely, and it is not only the political parties, but the forces, people's movements. These people's
minority movements.
These people's movement also we should cooperate with. So Hardik Patel or Jignesh Mevani or the other such forces that have emerged, or you have Medha Patkars, you have Aruna Roys, Kanaya. So Kanaya Kuwas, you have the Right to Information campaign, you have, so all these forces are also coming together.
So what about this thing like Gautam Naulakha and these people were just recently arrested by the government, blaming them to be the Maoist, and so what is the take of the CPM or Left Alliance about that?
You see, what they are doing is, when you have the Dalits under attack and they are being repressed and the culprits are set free, on such matters, the legal cases on these things, certain intellectuals and activists have been taking up. They have been propagating, campaigning. And now Gautam Naulakha and the other four, Sudha Bharadwaj and all these people, they fall into that category. Who is known that they are sympathetic with the Dalit cause, and they've taken up the cases of repression against them. So
but even leftists are blaming that they are not raising the enough voice for them.
Yeah, we are the first ones to come out. We are raising voice. We are fighting for them. Our lawyers are also very active.
But even the Congress is raising voice. But that's the election matter.
So they are being now branded as urban Maoists.
Urban Maoists.
You see, so that is the new excuse. That is to catch hold of anybody who is critical of the present government and the Prime Minister and dub them as urban Maoists and then arrest them. So you are having a very, very strong authoritarian attack on the entire democratic political setup in India today.
Okay, again coming to the Nepal and India relationship now. Nepal-India relationship has such a relationship that it is considered very volatile, that kind of relationship. Sometimes they are very high, sometimes they are very low, and it was one of the lowest during this recent blockade over there, just after the Nepalese constitution was formed. So what do you think about the relationship of Nepal and India? Like sometimes when there is anti-Indian slogan in Nepal, the party gains the votes. So it's not only in Nepal, even in all other parts of South Asia as well. I've been to different parts of South Asia, in Pakistan, Bangladesh, and even in Sri Lanka. Indian politics and Indians are not considered that good and that friendly for their country.
Well, that our governments and our ruling parties should take that into account and introspect why this is happening. But as far as Indo-Nepal relations are concerned, I've also maintained this is a relationship that goes back to many centuries in human civilization. And I've always maintained, from the day one when I set foot here nearly 30 years ago, when that Ganesh Man Singh's house, when actually the movement for democracy started, 1989. Since then onwards, I've been saying, between Indians and Nepali, there is no big brother, there is no small brother. We are twins. And that is how historically we have evolved. That is how historically we have to go ahead. Each of them will feel the pain of the other. Each will see the happiness of the other.
But the feeling of Nepalese like India is treating them like a big brother and telling everything to do and sometimes forcing even.
No, that if it is there, then all of us together have to make sure that that doesn't continue, or forget succeeding. It doesn't continue, and I believe that it cannot succeed. That sort of a feeling, because I mean we are so closely ingrained. What we have to do is to move towards a future where such things will not happen. Now, in India, I was a member of parliament, member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, when we examined this entire issue of blockade that you're talking of. India's position is because of the disturbances in the Madheshi area. That is why this flow was stopped. Position here is no, the flow was stopped because of the blockade by the Indian government. So we said, now the point is, whatever be the reasons, it's not a question of, post-mortem. Lift it. I mean, if at all there's anything like that, I mean, that should end. I mean, you cannot have this sort of a situation to continue. That's the position I took in the parliament, the position I took in the committees.
Recently, Narendra Modi gained lots of popularity over here when he came to the Nepal for the first time, and he was the prime minister, only the prime minister of India who came 4 times during his tenure over there. But later on, he's losing all his popularity over here, and Modi is treated one of the most betrayer of Nepalese sentiment and these things. So what do you think that the recent policy of the recent Indian government is pro-Nepal, or has been not like that?
I would suggest that India's policy towards Nepal is a policy that is a continuum, and no break should be and will be allowed, if at all there's any other aberration happening or any other break coming. But but on concrete issues, if there are issues, we think it should all be done through normal negotiations, where you take your Indo-Nepal treaty, for instance. No, we have been on record, CPIM, for the last 20 years and more, saying that at that time the treaty was made 40 years ago. The situation changed. Nepal, it's changed. India, it has changed. Now 60 years gone by.
They have made some intellectual forum, but
so that is a non-governmental forum that is of eminent persons.
Yes, eminent persons.
Eminent persons group or something. They've called that. So what they're discussing, I really wouldn't know, because I'm not.
They have come with the conclusion, and they have to still submit their final findings over there. It's not being still done.
Yeah, I know, but
and it is said like always India is interested to get something from India, like from water. They are planning to. They are always looking towards getting some projects of power projects for the benefits of India. And like you have also sometimes advocating GMR to be there, and GMR is one of the organizations that it hasn't been able to find the finance to start the project. So is it that the fact that you are interested in something in Nepal only?
No. I mean, you see, whatever that we can do to help Nepal, it is our duty to do, India's. And whatever is there that is potential in Nepal to develop, it is our duty to be of assistance to Nepal to develop. So yes, I mean, through hydroelectric power generation, Nepal could gain a lot. Through our rivers, which look so beautiful in Nepal. But by the time they come down to the Indian plains, they create devastating floods.
Yeah, floods, yeah.
when they come down
Some
here.
Nepal rivers are termed as the sorrow of Bihar or sorrow of
Exactly. You know, but these are things that are humanly manageable. I mean, that requires a cooperation from both of us, you know, India and Nepal. And I think these are the areas in which we'll have to work on it. Now, if there are some private companies and corporates who not been able to find finances, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know why that happened. But the government should have been of assistance in helping them. And we hope, but now they have announced many big projects.
Yes.
So I hope that these will now fructify. Some of them have been pending for a long, long time.
Okay. Lastly, that you may have in all the communist parties worldwide or even in the South Asia had been very much enthusiastic about the government of Nepal that has come to the power by the election. And what do you have to say to them for them to be successful?
Well, first of all, after many decades of struggle, you now have political stability. You now have a constitution accepted. This government has 2/3 majority. Now to actually build a better Nepal for the people of Nepal. And maybe for 30 years or more, the denial of a better livelihood to the people of Nepal because of all these circumstances. Now the time has come when that can be taken forward, and I'm sure this government will do that. And the success of this government, let me tell you, is going to be the biggest contribution to the international communist movement, particularly to the communist and left parties in South Asia. And therefore, we all wish them the very best and success, because that's in the interest of all of us.
We had influence from India, and now you will be getting some influence from Nepal.
There again, I would say again, it's never been a one-way process. Even in the past, we also learned from the Nepali comrades. They learned from us. Even now, we learn from the Nepali comrades, and they'll also learn from us. So it's a question of that synergy that comes in. But yes, definitely, I mean, this unification process has been greatly welcomed in India, and they have put us in a difficulty because everybody is asking us, when are you doing it in India? So I said Indian conditions in Nepal are different. So you
have been trying in different states now when in the
national level. It's a process that we'll see in the future. But definitely the success of this government is a big contribution to the communists in the left, South Asia and in the world.
Thank you for your precious time. Hope this time the Communist Party of India, the joint left, will be doing better in the coming 2019 election.
Thank you very much.
And maybe you will get another chance after 96.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your time. Today we talked to Sitaram Yechury, the General Secretary of Communist Party of India, Marxist. We talked about the politics, world politics, Indian politics, and the relationship between India and Nepal, and about the left movement worldwide in India, in South Asia, and in Nepal. We'll talk with different personality in the different other shows. For now, it's time to wrap up. You keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.